This story is brought to us from 13wham.com. Out of Columbia, South Carolina, Columbia, South, Kakalake. I'm sorry, anytime I go down south, I got to make fun of y'all. It's okay, because I have relatives from Bowling Green, Kentucky, Hope, Arkansas, North Carolina. I have relatives there, so it's okay. I'm allowed. Multiple people, including several teenagers, were left injured following a shooting incident in the early morning hours at a park in South Carolina. Now, deputies from Richland County Sheriff's Department received a call around 1:20 a.m. about a large group of teens gathered at Meadow Lake Park. When they arrived, most of the crowd was already dispersed. One woman was found with a lower body injury after being hit by a car that was leaving the scene, and officials later confirmed the gunshot victims were starting to arrive at area hospitals. Now, shortly after the first group of deputies arrived on scene, another group attempted to make a traffic stop for a vehicle leaving the scene without headlights. The car did not stop. It led to a pursuit. The driver, identified as 19-year-old McKees Fulwiley, eventually stopped and was arrested along with the passenger, identified as 18-year-old Tyquan Kelly. Fulwiley was charged with failure to stop for blue lights, simple possession of marijuana, and the unlawful carry of a pistol. It wasn't too wily, was he? He got caught. Kelly was charged with simple possession of marijuana and unlawful carry of a pistol. The gathering at Meadow Lake Park involved students from multiple high schools in the area. Richland County Sheriff's Department officials specified it was not a park-sponsored event, and the Richland County Recreation Commission is cooperating with the investigation. Now, according to the Gun Violence Archive, there have been 174 mass shootings as of Thursday. Incidents of gun violence where at least 4 people are injured or killed in the U.S. this year so far. So I'll read that again. So in the United States, so far this year, there have been 174 mass shootings, which are incidents of gun violence where at least 4 people are injured or killed. 174, where at least 4 are injured or killed. A mass shooting. 174. I'm going to keep saying that number. It's crazy. It's just like, you know what? This is 2023. You just pick up a gun and start firing, man. That's what we do. I mean, there have been shootings for years. Ever since I was 10, 11 years old, I watched it on the news. But it just seems like it's every week now. Like every week, every 3 days, every 4 days. And maybe it's because of social media. What do you all think about that? But don't get me wrong, I'm a huge supporter of the Second Amendment. I am. But like the First Amendment, sometimes the Second Amendment can be abused or used improperly, and leads to stuff like this. And then the politicians and these anti-gun people jump in and go, see, we should ban this gun and ban that gun. And you know what's going to happen? And I did this on Twitter. I was having a conversation with a lady on this. I'm almost done. Just hang with me for a second. But on Twitter, this lady said, we should ban all assault weapons. We'll ban them because, if you ban them, then nobody can have them. And I said, if you outlaw assault weapons, then only outlaws will have assault weapons. And I know people say, what do you need an assault weapon for? Come on, in your home. Yeah, I get that. But where does it end? Ban assault weapons, then you ban shotguns, then you ban rifles. You know what I mean? Put that aside, it's your right to own an assault rifle, right? It doesn't say under the Second Amendment, the right to bear arms except assault rifles. It says the right to bear arms. But what I said to her was, if you outlaw assault weapons, only outlaws will have assault weapons. And she said, boy, you don't know how stupid your statement sounds. No, it's actually on target. Any firearms that you make unlawful or illegal, then only criminals who act unlawfully will have those weapons. Why? They're buying them on the street. Do you think for 1 second a criminal goes in and buys a gun and says, I need to complete a registration? No, he goes down to a back alley somewhere in the middle of town and buys it off somebody else. And in several cases, it's a stolen weapon. So don't tell me that making guns, making these firearms illegal is good. Well, it'll help. No, all you're doing is making law-abiding citizens defenseless against criminals who don't give a squat about the law. They'll just go downtown and buy one off the street. And now you got a bunch of people running around with guns who are felons, breaking into homes, robbing people, shooting people. And what are the law-abiding citizens doing? God, I wish I had a gun.